Look, just listen to me. If I take you on...
I promise I'll work so hard.
God, this is a mistake already.
I'm listening, boss.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Backtrack Cinema. Today we look at the Oscar-winning movie from 2004, Million Dollar Baby. So get your popcorn, get a drink, get comfy, and let's talk Million Dollar Baby. Million Dollar Baby was released in 2004, directed by Clint Eastwood, and starring Hilary, Swank, Clint Eastwood, and Morgan Freeman. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason. You're watching Backtrack Cinema, where we talk movies from the past that you know and love. And thank you guys for joining me on my Million Dollar Baby movie review. Let me know in the comments what you think of Million Dollar Baby. Do you think it earned the Oscar that year? Do you think this is one of Clint Eastwood's? Just let me know what you think of it in the comments below, and we'll have a great discussion. Yeah, so I believe this one picked up 4 Oscars, including Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Picture, Best Director, I believe. I can remember, I don't tune into many Oscar events, but back then, I remember watching it, just crossing my fingers, because I wanted to see this one win so badly. I'm so glad it did, because this is a fantastic film. It's a movie that will leave you with moments of happiness, but moments of complete sadness too. It's a boxing movie that fits into that sports drama genre, and starts out as a traditional boxing film, but it takes a hard right into this dark, depressing area. And you get fantastic performances, a rock solid script, and Clint Eastwood here, he's really flexing his directing muscle here. This is beautifully directed. The story follows Maggie Fitzgerald, a determined woman who wants Frankie Dunn, an old hardened trainer, to train her as a boxer. At first he is reluctant, but then he agrees to train her as they form an inseparable bond that will change them both. Now, I do want to talk about the fight scenes in this movie because they are brutal and realistic, but let's get into our story and our character here. But like I said about its story, like it starts off like this traditional boxing story. We get Maggie Fitzgerald, who gets trained by Clint Eastwood's character, and he trains her all the way to the top to a championship fight. But that's when it goes into this really dark area where she gets cheap shotted, gets paralyzed. This is like this is where it stands on its own and gets unique. She gets paralyzed. This is where she asks him, I can't live like this, like a vegetable my whole life. I've reached my dreams. I've reached the top. I want you to kill me. And it puts him in an impossible situation, an impossible choice to make. And that's what this movie, I love so much about it. That really takes that dark turn, raises some questions about, you know, if someone asked you to do that, could you do that? Could you risk that part of your humanity to do something like this? Clint Eastwood's character has so much remorse already with his own past, his own ghosts, that this would just destroy him. I love the theme too of like never giving up on a dream. Maggie Fitzgerald, she's already 32, been boxing a few years. She's already over the hill as an athlete, but she goes after her dream because it's the only thing that makes her happy. She lives that dream. If she didn't get cheap shotted, she would have won that fight. She was at the top. Everyone's calling her name. And it really raises that question, right? How many of us acquire or get to live out our dream? Barely none of us, probably. We live our whole lives and probably still are not doing the things that we love the most, still have not gotten to what we wanted out of this life. And here's this woman about 32 years old who lived her dream. She didn't do that bad. So there's some deep questions this movie really asks or forces you to examine after you're sitting after this movie just thinking, right? Clint Eastwood at his best here as director and as actor. There's a lot of guilt and remorse with him in this movie. You know, he has a daughter, but she won't talk to him. You see that he sends letters all the time, and he gets these letters sent back that haven't even been opened. So you don't know what he did in his past, but there's just a lot of remorse, regret, and he gets a second chance at being a father by mentoring Maggie Fitzgerald, and they have this inseparable bond. You know what I mean? By the end of the movie, this is pretty much his daughter. You know what I mean? They spend so much time on developing the characters and getting you to like the characters. Very dialogue driven movie too. So, like some of the philosophy in this, they're explaining boxing techniques, but how it approaches what's going on with the characters. There's a great line where Clint Eastwood is, you know, he's one of the greatest cutmen in the business, so he's trying to stop the bleeding on a fighter's eye. And you got Morgan Freeman narrating this story, right? He's like, sometimes it cuts too deep, it gets to the bone, there's nothing you can do to stop it. And it just mirrors what's going on with Clint Eastwood's past and all that stuff. It's great, and it does this through a lot through the film. And Hilary Swank as Maggie Fitzgerald, brilliant performance. Still my favorite character she's ever played. She's the heart. She really is the heart of this story. She's been looked at her whole life as just trailer trash. She comes from nothing. Her personality is so inviting because she would never complain about a thing. She gets her nose busted up in the ring, and when they're at the ER after, she's sitting there with smiles, got her head up, stopping the bleeding, waiting for her turn to get into the ER. And she's just so happy and living her dream that you don't care her nose is busted. I just love this character. She's got this real happy glow to her, you know what I mean? And Morgan Freeman as Mr. Scrap, he's kind of like the janitor of the gym. He lives there at the gym. He's an ex-boxer who lost his eye, and he's the voice of reason in this, and he provides this great narration of the film. I mean, Morgan Freeman narrating, guy's got to be the best narrator ever. And I love how at the end of this, that narration was just not put in there. It actually served something. Because by the end, right at the end, when he's narrating this, it's actually a letter he sent to Clint Eastwood's daughter. I just wanted you to know who your father was. So he's telling his story and trying to get through to her, like, this is who your father was, what he did for Hilary Swank's character by giving her peace, but sacrificing his own soul. Beautiful movie. You get a nice little scene and arc with Morgan Freeman's character where he was at the diner with Maggie saying, you know, I fought 109 fights. I wanted to go 110, but, you know, he just couldn't accept that he was too old to fight. And you get this prize fighter who's just beating up on one of the simple-minded guys in the gym. Then Morgan Freeman puts the glove on and just tunes this guy up, man.
110.
Great scene, man. It's a great moment. The fight scenes are brutal and realistic. These fight scenes still really hold up. It's all also in the cinematography, the way it's lit and everything. Like the cinematography in this film uses a lot of light and shadow, contrast of it. There's a lot of conversations taking place in the dark, and then you see someone step into the light a bit. It's beautiful. Along with that production design, everything kind of looks dingy and old. You know what I mean? Just setting that mood, you know what I mean? Real nice soft lighting in this film. And one particular fight scene is where Maggie gets her nose busted. And, you know, she gets back to the corner and it's broken. I mean, it's all twisted. It's bleeding. She's got 20 seconds before that thing just starts flooding like Niagara Falls, man. And he's got toothpicks up it. He cracks it back into place. It's just the sound of it. It's just brutal. Brutal fight scene, man. Brutal. And I love that. I love how they take a look at this sport, and Clint Eastwood shows you how brutal of a sport this can be. And last but not least is the music in this is so simple, but so effective. It's got this nice little guitar and piano running all the way through it. That Clint Eastwood, he did the music himself too. And it's very melancholy. It's very kind of happy and so sad at the same time, and really reflects the mood and what's going to happen in this movie through the whole thing. He gets the tone consistent. That's the mark of a really great director, getting the tone consistent. And with that cinematography, with that lighting and mood he sets, along with this music, you kind of get this sense of dread that something bad is going to happen. This ain't your regular boxing film where she's going to hold up the belt at the end. You know what I mean? No. That dark turn is coming. It's with the music, the cinematography, the real gritty look of this film. This is a fantastic film, guys. If you haven't seen it, go out and check out $1 Million Baby. So I'm going to give $1 Million Baby an A-. What about you guys? What do you think of $1 Million Baby? Do you like it? Don't you like it? Let me know in the comments below. We'll have a great discussion on $1 Million Baby. That's going to do it for me, guys, on this video. Thank you for joining me for this review. I will see you on the next video, and I will see you in the movies. Cheers.